So in my last video that I did on this Sydney Watson situation, we went over that video where she is literally calling out the type of people that she is being right now with the whole Me Too movement thing. And I thought it was vindicating. You know, it was a very vindicating video to watch. I loved watching it. People got very mad at me, including the quartering, saying that it was a disgusting take. And he also went on to ask later on in the video, or later on in the comment, you know, what does she have to gain out of this whole situation? What does Sydney Watson have to gain from suing the Blaze? And I think that you're probably thinking the same thing as me right now. Like, are you serious? That's a ridiculous question. Why would she ever commit career toaster bath like she is if there wasn't a huge bag to gain? Obviously, she wants to gain money. He said in his video, the quartering said in his video about Sydney Watson versus the Blaze, he said that she is unable to read super chats on their streams. Sydney Watson is unable to read super chats. The big brave man has to come in and save her from the big bad super chats. He has to read the super chats for her. I don't think she likes being on YouTube. If you don't like reading super chats, you should probably get off YouTube. That's some soft stuff. I'm sorry. I know that she might think that she's traumatized and the quartering probably backs her because they're close friends or whatever. But dude, if you can't read super chats, you're too soft for YouTube. You need to get off. And I think that she probably realizes that. She's trying to get a bag and she's trying to get up out of there, dude. She's trying to get away from YouTube is what I think is going on. But we also have a very new statement today from the Blaze that I don't see a lot of people talking about, because I put out a poll on my channel the other day, and I think it's like 70% of you think that the Blaze is going to settle. 30% think that it's going to go to trial. So 70 to 30 think that, you know, the Blaze is going to settle versus going to trial. I thought that they were going to settle as well, and I think that that's why she, instead of suing Elijah Schaffer, this is what was explained to me by legal experts, by the way. I don't know that much about, you know, the law or anything like that. I'm just kind of calling this as I see it, and I think the lawsuit is a bunch of BS. But the reason why Sydney Watson sued the Blaze and didn't sue Elijah Schaffer directly, even though all of her complaints were about Elijah Schaffer, was because the Blaze is a lot more likely to just settle. If Elijah Schaffer knows that he didn't do what he's being accused of in the situation, he's not going to settle. He's going to take her to trial and he's going to beat her. But the Blaze just don't quite know if Elijah did those things or not. And also, you know, the Blaze knows that Elijah Schaffer did those things in the past as well, which is why he no longer works there. So it's a lot more likely that the Blaze is going to settle. So that's why I thought that she was going to settle. And a lot of other people who watch my videos thought that they were going to settle as well. But it looks like they might not. This tweet from Lauren, I don't know how to say their last name. Con Inc. female influencers have become so desperate for attention that it's nothing for them to destroy men's lives as long as it gets them publicity. Very nasty. And here is from an article, a screenshot from an article. The Blaze and Schaffer didn't respond to requests for comment by press time. After publication of this article, the Blaze reached out to note the claims alleged in this complaint are false. We look forward to prevailing in this matter, where the plaintiff's statements, emails, and text messages will show in her own words why this case might generate publicity, but will fail on the merits. So everybody thinks that they're going to settle. Nobody thinks that they're actually going to go to trial, but it looks like they might actually go to trial. It looks like the Blaze might have some more information on this, might have some surefire evidence against Sydney Watson, because whenever this whole thing is being, you know, she's suing the Blaze around the fact that she complained about Elijah Schaffer over and over again, and they did nothing to change his behavior. They kind of just backed him because he was the star of the show or whatever. But whenever that happens, whenever you send in complaints and stuff like that, there should always be a paper trail, right? There should always be like an email chain that you can go back to and stuff like that. So maybe the Blaze has that email trail where they, you know, reprimanded Elijah Schaffer. Maybe they have some sort of proof like that where they're like, you know, screw this girl. She's lying. We're going to go to trial and we're going to beat her. And it's going to look really bad, not just for Sydney Watson, but also for the quartering and for any other YouTuber, which I haven't seen many, who are out there, you know, defending her blindly, because you have to be her friend to defend her blindly in this situation. And it's either for one or two reasons. Either he really does have inside information and he knows a lot more than everybody else, and that's why, or he's just saying that to make it seem like he knows more information so that it seems like he's less, for lack of a better term, simpy for trying to simp for his friend. It's one of those two, because everybody else, like all the law tubers that I've seen, Nick Rekieta, Legal Mindset, even some others that I've seen, have all said that this is a very weak looking lawsuit. But a lot of them also said at the same time, it doesn't really matter how weak it is because the Blaze is very likely to settle. But after seeing this right here, I don't know if it is very likely that they're going to settle. It seems like, unless this is just a scare tactic, you know, maybe it is, I don't know. But it seems like they actually want to go to trial with this. It seems like they believe that they have the evidence to refute everything that Sydney Watson is saying. And, you know, after seeing videos like this, I would hope that it does go to trial. I would love to see this go to trial. And I'm not saying that I would love to see Sydney Watson lose, because I also think that Elijah Schaffer is a weirdo. You know, I'm not an Elijah fan. I think he's a weirdo. He's a pretty feminine dude, and he just seems like a weirdo. He makes some funny jokes on Twitter. I'm not going to lie. You know, a lot of the stuff that he says is pretty edgy, and it makes me laugh. But, you know, I definitely could see him saying a lot of the things that Sydney Watson was accusing him of saying, but I just don't know if it's worthy of a lawsuit. The only reason why I think this could be worthy of a lawsuit is if the Blaze really didn't do anything whenever she complained about him getting drunk and making these certain comments. That's the only way that I could see this actually being worthy. But if this were to go, you know, if this was a lawsuit against Elijah Schaffer, is what I'm saying, it would completely fall on its face. You know, it would completely fall flat, because the stuff that he did, just they weren't essay. You know, it wasn't essay at all. And, you know, I can't say the actual word, but essay, you can kind of get what it stands for if you look into what this lawsuit is about. She was claiming that he was saying some very inappropriate things, that he was bringing on misogynistic guests. A lot of people think that I don't know how to pronounce misogynistic. I have to say misogyny because YouTube doesn't like the other word that I just said. So I'm going to say misogyny from now on. But people think that I don't know how to pronounce misogyny. It's pretty funny. But yeah, Glenn Beck's media empire sued for ignoring star host sexual, essay. I can't say the word. Stop talking about dicks. A one-time host at The Blaze says right-wing star Elijah Schaffer was often drunk on set and SA'd her right there. And, you know, he is an easy target. He's a very easy target because he's had these kind of things happen in the past. He literally got fired from The Blaze for doing things like this, much worse than what she's claiming. So a lot of people are saying, yeah, you know, it lends credence to it. It gives her credibility that she would, you know, file the lawsuit against The Blaze because of things that Elijah Schaffer did, because he's done it in the past. But, you know, I agree with you. It kind of does, right? But on, you know, playing devil's advocate, it also makes him look like a very easy target for a quick settlement. You know, a very easy target for a quick settlement, because he does have a history of doing these things. And whenever she's naming things, you know, she's naming people like Tommy Loren in her lawsuit, and she's just saying that misogyny word over and over again. She's saying that she's suing them because he brought on certain guests that were misogynistic, like the Nick guy. I can't say his last name. It's crazy how much I have to censor myself on here. But the Nick guy with the F word as the last name, Jack Murphy, and other guests, you know, she's pretty much suing them for bringing on guests that offended her, hurt her feelings. The entire lawsuit is just, I feel like. Nothing is, here's the evidence, here's the facts, you know, and here's what Elijah Schaffer did. It's more like, he made me feel this way. He felt like he had a physical size advantage over me and he liked it. Things like that. It's pretty ridiculous of stuff that she's suing for. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you think that they'll end up going to trial, or do you think that they'll end up settling? Per the Blaze's own words, it looks like they're going to trial, but who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you in the next one.